Hello and welcome to Thursday. And Thursday means it's nearly Friday, which means it's nearly the weekend. Yay! I don't know if you need a well done for getting this far or a please slow down, I'm having too much fun. But either way, it's great that we are here together, even if virtually. I've been thinking about God's promises this week, not all of them all at once, or I would get a little bit overwhelmed. But in a more general sense, and God's promises always hold true. It doesn't always feel as though they do though, and I think this is where the issue lies. If who God is and what he says depends on our feelings, which in turn are often dependent on our circumstances, then we have a very limited view of God. We end up with a view of him that's smaller than we are, or someone who fits into our understanding and experience. He ends up changing depending on how we are feeling. His nature becomes dependent on us. But I think God is bigger than that. I think he's bigger than us and our situations and our feelings, and that who we are depends on him rather than the other way around. And yet this big God is still interested in the detail of our lives, of who we are and how we live and how we love. He still loves us. And his promises still hold true, even when it doesn't feel like it. What does it mean then that God promises to be with us even though we feel far away from him? What does it mean that God will provide for us when we're struggling to pay the bills? These are questions that we have to grapple with, but I think we need to come from a starting point of knowing that God is good and perfect, and what he says and what he promises is good and perfect too. But when we find ourselves in the midst of a pandemic or in the midst of anything that we find difficult, how do we hold on to these promises? I think the first thing to do is to hunt them out in the Bible so that we know where they are. And then sometimes it's really helpful to try to learn them so that when the proverbial hits the fan, the promises are in our heads and in our hearts. We won't be able to learn all of them all at once, but holding one or two that we think we might need is a good place to start. Here's one to kick us off. It's from Proverbs 3, verses 4 and 5. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. Sometimes I think that God's definition of straight and my definition of straight might be a little different, but it is what God promises nonetheless. So I wonder if we can learn this off by heart so that when we need it, God's promise is there for us to remember. So let's say it together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your paths straight. Great, well done. Now I'm going to say the first half and you can say the second. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Well done. Now let's do it the other way around. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make your path straight. Well done. I think we've got it. Hold on to it. In the midst of the turmoil of emotions and experience that this current situation brings, God is bigger. He's got this. And somehow he will make our path straight. Don't forget morning prayer tomorrow at 9:30 and next week too, 9:30 again on Wednesdays and Friday mornings. It's a great way to see us through the week. And so we'll see you there or at our worship together this Sunday at 10:30. Have a great day.